survival. So, here we are.
Yeah, is he up in Port Townsend?
And
Ever
I think
wondered
we
about
put
life's
way too
biggest
many
questions?
expectations on her instead of on ourselves.
Or pondered the
And
meaning
our
of,
leadership
well,
has done so, in
everything.
my opinion. And
From ancient
she may not be
Greece
up for it, even with the
to
best
modern
of intentions.
existentialism,
So here we
dive
are.
deep
I
into the world
talked
of
to Todd just briefly.
Heraclitus,
He
philosopher of
was up in
change.
Vancouver last weekend and
Ever wondered about the thinker
didn't
behind
preach
the
at the
saying,
North
"You
Shore. It's
cannot
the one
step..."
that was in such a turmoil, lost their, I don't know, the tomato soupers, for lack of another word.
We're good. All right. Yeah. And you're on. Yeah. You got the thing. Please stand if you'd like. The morning hangs a signal upon the mountain crest, while all the sleeping valleys in silent darkness rest. From peak to peak it flashes, it laughs along the sky, till the glory of the sunlight on all the land shall lie. Above the generations the lonely prophets rise, while truth flares as the day star within their glowing eyes. And other eyes beholding are kindled from that flame, and dawn becomes the morning when prophets love proclaim. The soul has lifted moments above the drift of days, when life's great meaning breaketh in sunrise on our ways. Behold the radiant token of faith above all fear. Night shall release its splendor, that morning shall appear.
Testing 1, 2, 3. There we go. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane, where our mission is to join together to create a nourishing, liberal religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in our wider world. Or, as we say in short around here, to create community, find meaning, and work for justice. Thank you very much. It's good to have everyone here. We begin, as we do each Sunday, by welcoming all that you bring with you, all of your uniqueness, your unique beliefs, your background, your lifestyle, your experiences, your differences, all that helps make you who you are is welcome here today. And that includes those of you in the room with us, as well as the many of you who are streaming with us this morning and those who are Zooming with us as well. So welcome to everyone. I don't have any announcements this morning, so maybe we can go to our Zoom room. Shelley, is that possible for you to put them on our screen so we can say hello? I think I heard, there's Bruce talking. I can't hear him. I
lot and,
I wonder if they can hear us.
do a lot and make life a whole lot better in a lot of ways and probably worse than some
They have us
others.
muted.
So we'll see how that all
This is good so that they
balances
know
out.
we've
I should
actually
have tuned into
begun.
this service because
Yeah.
I'm getting some echoing.
Hey, maybe this is Todd talking here. Can you guys hear us now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good. Well, we just wanted to say hello, and we interrupted your flow of conversation there, but maybe we didn't have the tech set up quite right yet. So, how's everybody doing this morning?
Oh, I think we're doing. Oh, is that because of we're back to the echo problem. Makes it so that we can talk, but we can hear you fine.
Okay,
But
well,
we don't have a video of this. All right. Oh,
we won't prolong your suffering, Terry. It sounds like the audio is not quite right this morning, so I'm glad you guys can hear us, and we'll just leave it at that for today. But it's always great to have all of you with us, and nice to be able to interact when we can. So hope you enjoy the service today, and really appreciate all of you being here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since we don't have any further announcements this morning, let's take a few moments to greet one another And those of you who are on Zooming, I guess you can get back to your greeting of one another for a few seconds yourselves. And if you are joining us for the first time, please don't be shy. Everybody here this morning, pretty friendly. Yeah, this is the friendly group, so you'll be safe.
Did you remember that Phoebe is in the hospital and what's his name was going to?
I did, yes. But we still don't know what's going on with her, right?
She had a stroke.
Oh, she did. Okay. All right. More opportunity as always to visit with one another during our social hour following the service. So I hope everyone will stay around for that. And since you've not been here before, just so you know, behind that wall is coffee and tea and whatnot to enjoy after the service. And we keep it a secret. We only let certain people back there. So you're in the club now, you know. So. Okay. Yeah, we're going to move forward now, I think, with our chalice lighting. The chalice is the symbol of our faith, the symbol of our unity and solidarity, of our openness and our inclusion of our community and our individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world and a beacon of hope to those in need, and may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt wherever it's been found.
Good morning. If artificial intelligence, or AI, were to write this opening reflection, it would not have procrastinated at all and would have come up with something almost instantaneously. Last week, Todd showed me on his phone how ChatGPT, an AI app, works by having it compose a short poem on the subject of a cloudy day. Amazingly, almost instantly, a pretty good poem appeared on his phone. I was both wowed and frightened. It is incredible that it works so well and so quickly, but I was frightened for what it would mean for those of us who write. I thought as a creative writer, I was irreplaceable. I have buried my head in the sand and have been ignoring the implications of AI. I thought that jobs like clerks in stores or workers in factories doing repetitive tasks might be replaced with robots or machines with AI, but not writers or other creatives. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this phenomenon. I think the fact of AI in our world is revolutionary, akin to the invention of the printing press and all its implications. Essentially transformative. But what will it all mean? There are so many questions and issues to address, and there is the looming existential question about whether humans might be replaced by AI. Todd's sermon today, everything I learned about AI yesterday, will illuminate, I expect, this challenging topic.
Please stand. Can you hear me through this? Okay. Join me for number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. Then my life is done for me. Let love be my legacy.
We are now going to kindle our candles of care for those who are most on our hearts and minds this morning. We begin, as we have been, on behalf of the people of Ukraine who've been suffering the terrible impacts of the war in that part of the world, as well as for others in that part of the world suffering that unnecessary pain and damage and death and all that stuff. I also kindle a candle on behalf of the people of Morocco who suffered a terrible earthquake. I know there's lots of others suffering around the world these days, and I'll leave that up to you to mention some of those if you'd like in a moment, but I also want to light a candle for some of our members, including Elaine Stevens, who's recovering from a rather serious fall about a week ago. And also for Phoebe Daniels, who is suffering from a mild stroke, recovering from that. And then a candle celebrating our dear church member, Moritz Kundig. Moritz Kundig was the architect who designed the incredible building we're in, one of the most admired buildings in the city, and a very, very prominent architect. His architecture's all over the city, and he's very well respected in the architectural community. Anyway, Moritz celebrated his 98th birthday on Thursday. So happy birthday to this incredible man. So let's take a moment of silence on behalf of others that you might be thinking of. And as always, you're welcome to name them aloud at this time if you'd like. Those named aloud and those embraced in our silence, and all those who are suffering in our world at this hour, behold in our community with compassion. And we now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which helps sustain this community and our mission to the larger world. Thank you, Shelley. All right, it is time for our story for all ages, as we call it here. And even though we seldom have children at our first service, we are all young at heart, correct? Yes, okay. And we have another first-time visitor with us today. Looky here. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, look at that crowd. Yes, look at them. So you've not been here before. What's your name? Dennis O'Dennis. Dennis O'Dennis. At your pleasure. Well, that's an interesting name. That's because I'm an interesting person. Are you? Of that I have no doubt, but please tell us, what specifically is it that makes you interesting? Well, I'm from the past. You're from the past. You mean you're a time traveler? Don't take things so seriously, Einstein. Oh, sorry. I just mean I'm an old-fashioned guy. Okay, that makes sense. I should have known. It's just that technology is changing so fast, I can hardly know what's actually possible these days. Please don't mention that word to me. I told you I'm an old-fashioned guy. I don't even know how to push the buttons on an elevator, and I'm proud of it. Oh, okay. Well, you might have picked the wrong day to visit, Dennis, because I'm going to be talking today about artificial intelligence. Is that fake news? No, artificial intelligence, or AI, is a type of technology that allows machines to think and learn, kind of like us humans. So it is fake news. Well, no, it's not fake news. AI is very real, but it doesn't surprise me that you've never heard of it. Why? Because I don't watch Yoo-hoo? I think you mean YouTube. And no, AI has been around a very long time, but it's only recently become powerful enough to get noticed. And just what makes this artistical intelligence so great? Artificial intelligence and lots of things. So AI can recognize voices, it can answer questions, it can tell stories, and even play games. What's the big deal about a machine that can do things we can already do ourselves? Do they have feelings? Do they laugh? Do they yell at terrible drivers? No, they don't have feelings like us, but they can help us with a lot of tasks and make things easier for us. They can even help doctors and scientists with complex problems, and that's important stuff. All right, if they're so smart, can they explain the eighth wonder of the world? The eighth wonder of the world, what's that? Why do nice socks keep disappearing in the washing machine? Which is another reason I don't use technology. Okay, well, it so happens, Dennis, I was wondering that question myself just this morning, coincidentally. So I asked ChatGPT, and that's the name of an AI, okay? And what did Chatty say? Well, ChatGPT gave a few explanations, and the one I like best is that a mythical creature known as the sock monster lives in washing machines, feasting on our lost socks. I knew it. Say, maybe there's something to this artificial intelligence. But if it's true, how did it get so smart? Did it go to school? No, it didn't go to school, but it does learn by reading lots of information. More information in a few seconds than us humans could ever hope to read during our whole lives. Oh, sounds like the life of the tardy. A nosy machine that knows more than everybody else. Oh, that it can't even laugh at a good joke. Well, you're right about that, Dennis. AI doesn't laugh and is really bad at telling jokes. In fact, it wrote a joke for this very script that was so bad I had to delete it. Was it the scarecrow joke? It was. Outstanding in its field. Yeah, good call. Glad you left that one out. Yeah, me too. So machines, including AI, are really good at making our work easier so we can get more accomplished with less effort. But so far, at least, they can't laugh or cry for that matter or feel anything. They don't enjoy life or love or dream or have friends or have fun. Those are the things that make us human, and that's not about to change. Good thing, because no matter how smart artificial intelligence get, I'm staying an old-fashioned guy. Of that we have no doubt. Dennis, oh Dennis, glad to have you. Thank you.
I invite you now to settle in for our time of meditation in words and silence. This is a meditation adapted from Reverend Alice Neismond. Find a comfortable, receptive posture. Close your eyes if you wish, and take in some deep breaths. Let us simply breathe together as we hold our hearts open. Breathing in as our hearts fill with compassion. Breathing out as we pray for healing in our world and in our lives. Breathing in, opening ourselves to the transforming power of love. Breathing out as we pray for peace in our world and in our lives. Breathing in as we hold hope in our hearts. Breathing out as we pray for justice in our world and in our lives. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into this world.
I'm going to introduce this one a little bit. It's a little weird. This is a song, lyrics written by my friend Ellen Welker as part of a series called The Pink Tablet that related female experience to wolves in nature. And this one I set to music, and it's called Cyberspace, so I thought it would be appropriate. Cyberspace is all mom jokes, all woof. All your mom's so chilly, she's hot. Oh! Cry wolf and no proof makes a liar out of you. She is a wolf and so are you. Is mom circling again? Is this all just pretend? If it's not happening, then it can't end. What is reason if you don't need one? What is reason if you don't need one? What is reason if you don't need one? What is reason if you don't need one?
Amazing. Thank you. Trying to move Dennis O'Dennis's hands. So not too long ago, actually it's getting long ago now, in 2018 I attended Singularity University, tellingly located in Silicon Valley, the tech capital of the world. SU, founded by philanthropist, entrepreneur Peter Diamandis and futurist Ray Kurzweil, focuses on the principles of exponential technological change and of abundance. Exponential change, as it sounds, makes the point that change happens at increasingly faster rates. Kurzweil, author of The Singularity is Near, says this will make the advances occurring during the next 100 years look more like 20,000 years of progress by today's rate. Diamandis, who is extremely optimistic about the future, talks a lot about using technology to create a world of abundance that uplifts every man, woman, and child on the planet. abundance meaning more than enough for everyone. Hence, each year, he says in his book, Abundance, the future is better than you think. The Singularity University graduate students are challenged to develop a company, product, or organization that will positively affect the lives of 1 billion people within 10 years. I consider my brief time at SU among the most inspiring, hopeful, and transformative of my life. One of the many valuable lessons I learned is that it's the responsibility of today's leaders to teach others to best cope with living in a world of exponential change. Change happening so fast that it's difficult for us to keep up with. Human beings, like all other creatures, are creatures of habit. Our bodies, our behaviors, our psyches have been shaped by habit through the course of millions of years of evolution. This is why, like most creatures, we're naturally adverse to and fearful of change. Repetition is safe. The more often something doesn't harm us, the more likely it never will. So we resist change. The more our environments stay the same, the safer we feel. So we usually prefer to stay with the tried and the true. And this conservative instinct is fine in a world of biological evolution, in which it takes eons for changes to occur. But when with the pace of today's technological changes, which are evolving right in front of us, the world feels more chaotic, uncertain, and frightening than ever before, at least for many. This is why I want to talk about artificial intelligence today, because this revolutionary technology is going to change our lives and our world so dramatically and so quickly that it will not be humanly possible for us to keep up with it. Hence the title of my talk, Everything I Knew About AI Yesterday. It's a big subject to begin with, far beyond my scope of expertise, and one which could go in many directions, but because it's improving so quickly, doubling in power every 6 months or less, it's not possible for anyone to keep up or say much about it that hasn't already become yesterday's news. The first sermon in which I ever mentioned AI was shortly after Watson, IBM's supercomputer, played Jeopardy in 2011 and beat the television game show's 2 greatest human players ever. Back then, I used the line, Watson may know Jack, but Watson doesn't know Watson. What I meant was that this supercomputer has a lot of data that it can process in a split second, but it isn't self-aware. It's not conscious. It's a calculator. And this is still the case. AI isn't conscious. If you don't believe me, just ask ChatGPT. I did. Here's what it said. No. AI, including the model you're communicating with, me, ChatGPT, based on the GPT-4 architecture, is not conscious. It then listed the 4 reasons for saying so. If only humans were logical enough to provide the reasons for their thinking, my world would be happier. The reasons are, it has no subjective experience. It's purely computational, right? Mathematical, gateways, that kind of stuff. Has no desires or intentions, and lacks understanding. I responded, thanks, I knew that. But I'm writing a sermon on AI and thought it might be nice for my audience to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, smiley face. ChatGPT replied, that's a creative approach, exclamation mark, it really liked it. Addressing topics like AI from multiple perspectives, including directly referencing AI-generated content, can be both engaging and enlightening for your audience. If you have any other questions or need further insights for your sermon, feel free to ask. Best of luck with your presentation, exclamation mark, smiley face. Not a bad response for something that lacks understanding. Even if it is not conscious, I should say, it has advanced leaps and bounds since 2011, mostly within the past few months. Or is it during the past few days? It's happening so fast, it's really hard to know. In 2016, only 5 years after Watson played Jeopardy, Google's deep learning computer, AlphaGo, beat the world's champion at a game of Go, a board game more complex than chess by 1,000,000 trillion times. Most remarkable was that AlphaGo was not programmed with the rules to the game, but taught itself to play through a process of trial and error called deep learning. Within hours, it went from knowing nothing about the game to becoming its world champion. That was a breakthrough because it marked an era in which computers can essentially program themselves. And today, they can do so a lot better than in 2016, which is now ancient history in the terms of computer evolution. In March of this year, for instance, only 5 months ago, I heard Iman Mustak, CEO of Stability AI, tell an audience, by the end of next year, you'll have ChatGPT on your mobile phone without internet. In near disbelief, host Peter Diamandis had to ask Mustak to repeat himself. The reason it will be possible for this tech to be used without accessing internet is because Stability AI has developed a means of compressing 100 terabytes, 1,000 gigabytes of images, that's 2 billion images, down in his words to a 2 gigabyte file that can create anything. Further predicting it will get down to only 100 megabytes, the size that can currently hold about a 50-second video. It can easily be stored on your phone. The information that can create anything. That means without access to the information on the internet, which may also soon become ancient history, we'll have to start calling our smartphones genius phones. Just imagine how such technology will unleash, enhance, and equalize the knowledge and creativity of people everywhere, even some of the poorest and most disadvantaged people on the planet. So that's two of the major changes in artificial intelligence since Watson won Jeopardy in 2011, deep learning and compression. The third major advance is convergence. Convergence is what happens when things that were once separate come together to form a more complex whole. It's how things evolve, including technology. AI began to make serious advances in 2017 for this reason. Prior to then, AI developers working in various areas like speech synthesis, speech recognition, image generation, computer vision, music generation, and robotics were all working separately from each other and had different methods. It would not be possible to really shift from one field to the other. Their skills and knowledge were not easily transferable. But in 2017, information theory was applied to all these fields, and suddenly everything, images, sound, biology, code, numbers, robotics, got boiled down to language, to bits of information. And that all these areas could be translated into another area because they were all made of the same thing. Imagine a lump of clay that you can shape into anything you want and push it back in and change it into something else. A similar metaphor. So this led to what's called generative AI. With a 1 or 2 sentence prompt comprised of text, you can get AI like a ChatGPT to write an essay, a poem, a song, a story, an outline, you name it. But there are other AI programs now that you can prompt with text that are then translated into music or pictures or video or audible narration or computer code and so on. When everything is translated into bits of information, those bits can easily be transformed into just about any medium. Sound is comprised of a bit. Images are comprised of a bit. Information is a bit. At the 2023 Abundance 360 conference this past March, Peter Diamandis noted that AI has already been around for 67 years, asking, so why is it happening now? Why now? And he says it's because of 4 factors. First, the law of accelerating returns, exponential growth, that is. AI has been doubling in power every year for nearly 7 decades. That sounds impressive, but maybe you don't appreciate just how impressive it is, because remember the example of putting a grain of rice on the first square of a chessboard, then doubling it, the amount every square, and it adds up to more grains of rice than there are in China, probably in the world, 18 quintillion grains. And that's at the 64th power. To the 67th power is almost 148 quintillion. That's the law of accelerating returns, and that's why we're suddenly noticing AI, because it became so much more powerful in such a short time, essentially now. The second reason is the amount of data in the world has been doubling for many years. Diamandis says it's so big, we're about to introduce a new term, the yottabyte. So big, we don't have a mount for it. That's 2 to the 80th power. 1,000,000 trillion megabytes of information that AI now has the power to peruse and interpret in just seconds. The third reason, Diamandis says, is that the cost to train AI plummeted 99% within the past 5 years. That's something else that's true of exponential technology, that it not only becomes exponentially more powerful, but it also becomes exponentially cheaper and smaller, which makes it accessible to billions of people. It democratizes technology, right? Supercomputer in my pocket. The fourth reason, he says, is that corporate investment in AI has gone from 20 billion annually in 2013 to over 160 billion today. It will be over 1.6 trillion by 2030. No wonder Diamandis says that there can be 2 kinds of companies at the end of this decade. Those that are fully utilizing AI and those that are out of business. ChatGPT, which has only been around since last summer, has since passed the U.S. medical exam and the bar exam and lots of other incredible exams. Considering this, I also asked ChatGPT if it can pass the Turing test. The Turing test, ChatGPT explains, for those who might not know, as proposed by Alan Turing in 1950, is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit human-like intelligence, specifically the ability to generate responses that are indistinguishable from a human's. While I can generate very human-like text and can fool some people in brief interactions, it's likely that in extended or deeper conversations, my limitations will show. This is especially true when the conversation touches on emotions, personal experiences, or when it requires deep understanding rather than surface-level information processing. Wow. With responses like this, humble as ChatGPT is, it's no wonder Ray Kurzweil, who predictions are 86% accurate, says we'll have human-level AI intelligence 6 years from now, and superhuman shortly after that. It took Netflix 3.5 years to get 1 million users. It only took Facebook 10 months and Instagram 2.5 months. It took ChatGPT 5 days. It had 100 million users in 2 months. In a few years, or maybe just months, the internet may go away, at least for the most part. We'll just ask AI for everything we need rather than going to it just for information. It will become a constant assistant in our lives. How many of you saw Iron Man and he had that Jarvis computer-generated assistant? It took the Linux open source operating system 20 years to get the number of users that it has taken Stability AI to get in 5 months. Stability AI is also an open source platform that translates text to images. When it was launched in August of 2022, it went from generating an image from text in 6 seconds, which is pretty fast, to 60 images a second in just 8 months. That's exponential change. And I just tested it out for the first time yesterday, asking Stability AI to create an image of a robot taking care of a baby. I've asked Shelley to put it on the screen so you can see what it looks like. Created this image instantly. That's actually not me. That is me being coddled by a robot. Look at that. Photorealistic. That is not a photograph selected by an AI based on my prompt. It was generated. That is generative AI. It was generated by AI in about a second. And by the way, it's 60 frames per second. We're talking about high quality video. We're talking about an AI that I say, hey, I'd like to see have an adventure film starring Harrison Ford and Marilyn Monroe. You know, make it a TV series. I'd like to watch the first episode in 5 minutes. You know, we're getting to that point. Hollywood's very concerned. Some of the creators are very happy because it's made their lives a lot easier. So the company's founder, again, Imad Mustaq, who predicts there will be no computer programmers necessary 5 years from now, says it's the biggest change in society ever. Any of you can now be creative. Any of you can now build systems. And so you build the systems that adhere to the unchanging demands of people to make their lives better, and that's value. And they'll pay you for that value. There's the jobs. Human jobs serving humanity. There will be a lot of benefits to AI, but we'll also have to consider some of the concerns and fears about it. There are already lots of frightening reports in the news and on YouTube predicting that it's going to take over the world and wipe out humanity. I heard Bill Maher talking about it with Elon Musk not long ago. Some of you may have caught that interview in which he asked, if you make things that are way smarter than you, why wouldn't they become your overlords? And this question reflects the concerns of many, but does not reflect what we should really be worrying about, which is how humans will abuse this tool to deceive and take advantage of other humans. I like Musk's response. I just think we should have some sort of regulatory oversight. Regulatory oversight is a reasoned response to a tool that can be abused, but not to something that is going to become conscious and wipe out humanity. And I think Musk's attitude is proper for the level of legitimate concern here, the potential for some people to abuse this technology. I'm also befuddled that so many people are worried about AI destroying the world as we know it, when we are already destroying the world as we know it. Why isn't anybody panicking about that? If anything, AI can become a powerful partner in helping stop and reverse global warming. As I said, there are lots of people making dire predictions about AI turning into a real-life Terminator situation. One of those, who has been getting a lot of media attention, is Mo Gadot, a former executive of Google. I've taken him more seriously than some others because he was recently interviewed for over an hour by Peter Diamandis, who conversely is very optimistic about AI. That he respected Gadot enough to hear his concerns made me take notice. Last week, I watched a shorter interview of Gadot on Sky News Australia report. Here's some of what he had to say. We've never had an avalanche approach us that's bigger than this. Let me state it bluntly. The age of humanity being the superior intelligence of the planet is over. Some of the estimates are that AI will be 1 billion times smarter than humanity by the year 2045. 100% could we is not the question. We've created our next master. We have created either our salvation or destruction. We are at the point in human history where we are handing over control to machines. We messed up badly. These can be frightening claims coming from one with Gadot's credentials, one who helped create this technology to begin with. But there's nothing in the report explaining why he believes any of the things about AI that he does, nor why we should believe him outside of his credentials. The report was based on a 4-minute edited version of what I'm guessing was a longer interview, so maybe his reasons were cut out. But this was the same issue I found with the longer form interview with Diamandis. Gadot, like many people, too often states his beliefs without offering any of his reasons for them. Without giving his reasons, his claims are unreasonable and as unsubstantiated as many of the fear-based claims and conspiracies that abound these days. Gadot is not an oracle that we just trust because he once worked at Google. We need to know why he believes what he believes. And that seems to be true of most of the true conspiracy theories I've seen on this subject. Again, AI, like any technology, can be used for both good and bad. A hammer can build a house or can be used as a weapon. But we already have a very real apocalypse of our own making to address. We should regulate and legislate AI appropriately, but not turn its existence into just another paranoid conspiracy theory. That's my 2 cents, although admittedly, I don't have the credential Mo Gadot has when it comes to addressing this topic. I can't even begin to cover all the potential benefits of AI, a fraction of which include highly accurate medical diagnoses along with astonishing medical advancements, education tailored to the needs of individuals, solutions to major problems like homelessness and climate change, smarter cities, predicting natural disasters like that terrible earthquake we just had in a timely fashion, spotting fires from outer space before they get out of hand, and so much more. Instead, I want to begin to close with an example of how I've recently been using AI. So 3 weeks ago, while I was away in Colorado as a guest speaker for a weekend, I created 15 videos, 2.5 to 3 minutes each, for my new YouTube channel called Philosophy in a Nutshell. It was a busy weekend, and I was able to work on these videos only in my spare time, but they each took only minutes to complete. Actually, the first one took maybe an hour or so, but once I learned the software, it was pretty simple. With my own prompts, I used ChatGPT to write the scripts, and Pictory AI to provide the music, the voiceover, and the video. And I use my own editing skills to lengthen some of those clips and to choose different clips and sometimes music than those that were first suggested. These first several videos about the early philosophers, my favorites, along with Socrates and Plato, I intend to eventually have one for each of the Western philosophers. It's so easy to produce them. So I've asked Shelley to actually play a couple of the videos. The first is the promotional video that appears on the YouTube channel that was also produced by Pictori AI and ChatGPT. And then after that, she'll show one of the videos, 2.5-minute video of one of my favorite of the pre-Socratic philosophers, Heraclitus. And I watch for how human these are.
Welcome to Philosophy in a Nutshell. Ever wondered about life's biggest questions? Or pondered the meaning of, well, everything? From ancient Greece to modern existentialism, we dive deep into the world of philosophy and bring it to you in bite-sized, easy-to-understand pieces. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of the universe, one philosopher at a time. If you're curious, if you love to think, or even if you just want a different perspective on life, this is the channel for you. So hit that subscribe button. Be inspired by new videos weekly. And let's embark on the greatest journey of all. The journey of wonder. The journey of philosophy in a nutshell.
So there's the promo. Now we'll watch an example of one of the...
Heraclitus, philosopher of change. Ever wondered about the thinker behind the saying, you cannot step into the same river twice? Let's embark on a journey to understand Heraclitus. Born around 535 BC in Ephesus, an ancient Greek city, Heraclitus was a thinker unlike many of his time. While many of the elite of Ephesus engaged in politics and public affairs, Heraclitus preferred solitude, often retreating to the temple of Artemis to contemplate and write. Not much is known about his personal life, but legends say he was a bit of a loner, often deep in thought, which made him seem distant to many. Yet, his writings, they've profoundly impacted philosophy. In his primary work on nature, Heraclitus introduced groundbreaking ideas. He wasn't just speaking about rivers and fires, but about the very essence of the universe. He posited that logos, an underlying principle, governed everything, and that all entities undergo transformation. He believed everything is in constant flux, with fire being a primary symbol of this change, always shifting, adapting, and transforming. This idea wasn't just about physical change but was also a reflection on human nature and the world's unpredictability. Returning to that famous river saying, Heraclitus wasn't merely commenting on flowing water. He aimed to show that change is the only constant. Every moment is unique, and every experience is fleeting. His ideas might sound simple, but they were profound. They questioned the nature of reality itself and have influenced countless philosophers after him, from Plato to Nietzsche. Today, Heraclitus's philosophy still resonates. Whether it's changing technology, shifting seasons, personal growth, or global events, change is embedded in every aspect of our lives. So, the next time you witness change, embrace it, ponder upon it, and remember Heraclitus, the philosopher who taught us to see the beauty in transformation.
So I really see this as an extension of my creativity. When I create videos in a traditional way, I would use a camera that I purchased from a company that had the latest technology in it. You know, I'd pay for Adobe software so that I could edit it at a faster pace than the old digital day or analog days of video editing. So this is just, to me, another example of being able to be more creative, faster, and to do more with my imagination. And so I own these videos really as my own, coming from myself in partnership with this technology. So you can watch these at your leisure on my Philosophers in a Nutshell YouTube channel. Maybe I'll try to get that in the sun or something so you can find the link easily. I'm supposed to ask you, according to GBT, to please remember to subscribe. What I have found is that when searching for information about AI in general, there is a lot of fearful information coming back. But when searching for information about how specifically to use it for creative purposes, there's nothing but enthusiasm. AI is not only making my life easier as it is for other creators and developers, but also more productive, enabling me to take on creative projects that I never dreamt I'd have time for. And this is just the beginning. So for now, I want to close with one more example of how this technology can be used. I asked Stability AI to predict who will be the next president of the United States, and here is the response that it gave. There you go. Yeah, that's a joke. It did not give me that. I prompted it to please give me a robot in the Oval Office. So. Okay, that's all I knew about AI.
I had to choose a hymn for the end of this, and so I decided on We Celebrate the Web of Life. Number 175. If you'd like to stand, join me. We celebrate the web of life, its magnitude we sing, for we can see divinity in every living thing. A fragment of the perfect whole in cactus and in quail, as much in tiny barnacle as in the great blue whale. Of ancient dreams we are the sum, our bones link stone to star, and bind our future worlds to come with worlds that were and are. Respect the water, land, and air which gave all creatures birth. Protect the lives of all that share the glory of the earth.
Benediction is this simple but profound saying by Ram Dass: we are all just walking each other home. Amen. Blessed be. Salam alaikum and shalom.
Shalom Havarim, Shalom Havarim, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Havarim, Shalom Havarim, Shalom, Shalom.
Yeah.